To this now, the high-profile case that was paraded by this country, South Africa, in 2010 and celebrated internationally as a major victory in the war against rhino poaching has not moved an inch in more than a decade. This week, eNCA's multi-award winning current affairs show, Checkpoint, finds out why. eNCA's Nkepile Mabuse, the executive producer of the show, unpacks this case for us, and she joins me now. Nkepile, finally I got to speak to you. It's been long coming. We can have fun. We can have fun, you and I, in a moment, but there's nothing fun about this particular case that we are talking about. We have a serious problem where a species has been driven almost to the point of extinction, and we are always told that the state, all of its arms are on board, all hands on deck to deal with this. But as you find out as Checkpoint, that's not necessarily the case with this particular high-profile case.
Exactly, Thulas, and it's so disheartening. In 2010, this was billed as the biggest arrest ever. You'll remember Davie Groenewald, who is the alleged mastermind of the syndicate, which included pilots, professional hunters and vets in this alleged syndicate, was arrested in this very high-profile manner. It was a 15-month Hawks investigation that was branded Operation Cruiser, and they basically, in an early morning raid, rounded up this group of people, and it was celebrated around the world as a breakthrough in the fight against rhino poaching. But it's in its 12th year on the roll, and it has not moved an inch. There are several reasons behind that, if I can just quickly unpack them for you, Thulas. We all know that people with deep pockets in this country have a way to manage to delay justice, and this is exactly what's happening with Davie Groenewald. He's got financial resources, and since 2010 he's brought up motion after motion in court to delay the actual justice that the state seeks to secure here. He's got another motion that he's brought forward that is going to delay this case even further. People who don't know who Davie Groenewald is should know that he is a very important and significant person when it comes to investigations around illegal hunting and rhino poaching. He is wanted by the United States. That he was indicted in the US in 2014 for illegally selling illegal hunts and for also for fraud and for also money laundering. He's a man who has been jailed in the US before and has been fined by the United States. The United States actually wants him extradited, but what South Africa has said is no, let's deal with this man here, prosecute him, and make sure that we finish this process here before he's extradited. But it's taken South Africa 12 years. I mean, the case is 12th year, so it's taken 11 years, and the case is still not at trial stage.
Sure. Nkepile, it's one thing for, the winding processes and basically Groenewald coiling the state up in litigation, one matter after another. It's quite another for the state itself to not be ready. And I imagine in your true style at Checkpoint, you went from door to door knocking. And I see in a clip in the story that we've just played a few moments ago, you were saying that it seems like the defense, the team representing the accused, seem to always have the edge over the prosecution in this matter.
The incompetence of the criminal justice system will be on full display tonight on Checkpoint at 8:30 on eNCA. I was actually shocked by some of the answers and the lack of answers that the National Prosecuting Authority had. You will remember, Thulas, that after the 2010 arrest of Davie Groenewald and his group, last year in July, he was rearrested allegedly with 19 rhino horn, meaning that he is alleged to have reoffended. Now, there is another member of the 2010 group who reoffended. His bail conditions were immediately revoked and he was sent to prison. Not in Davie Groenewald's case. He's still a free man. And we asked the National Prosecuting Authority about the incompetence in the system, first of all, and secondly, the equal application of the law in this case, and they didn't have many coherent answers.
Sure. This is absolutely shocking. And this is a crucial matter. It's not a trifling matter, is it, Nkepile? Because time and time again, not only are we reminded that, the whole rhino horn trade threatens to bring a whole species to extinction, but also, importantly, we are always told that don't just think of it as rhino horn poaching, it links to other organized crime, and therefore you would have thought that they would have wanted to make an example of, actually, as a country, we will not brook any of this nonsense.
At the moment, it looks like we are incapable of dealing with these crimes at this level, Thulas. It's not just rhino poaching. This is regarded and is being investigated as a syndicate, a criminal syndicate, an international criminal syndicate. There are charges including fraud and racketeering and money laundering, etc. It's a very, very serious case that should concern South Africans, that it should concern South Africans that it's not going anywhere. And generally the image of a rhino poacher in many people's minds is this African male who's crossing the border between South Africa and Mozambique or Zimbabwe, sleeping in the bush, and then pouncing on these rhinos. This lot that was arrested in 2010 are very sophisticated, according to evidence that has been put together by the Hawks.
All right. Look forward to it. Checkpoints, Nkepile Mabuse. That's at 8 p.m. here on eNCA. You don't want to miss it, as she's just explained. Even if you think you are slightly behind in understanding the importance and the import of this whole situation with rhino horn and rhino poaching, now there are elements that show you just how the criminal justice system itself is really letting us down as a country, because this is, after all, a crime we've been told is not only an environmental crime, but actually links to organized crime and many, many other elements of organized crime, including what she's talking about, racketeering, the running of a criminal enterprise. If we can't get this right, what can we get right by way of law enforcement in this country?